Alright everyone, day 2 of the most massive wall of propaganda attempt that I think that we've seen ever. Maybe after Katrina or a few other times in recent US history come close, but this Hunter Biden email scandal is extreme. This is definitely a triple doozy. This is an October surprise. And so the reaction by the corporate media and by Silicon Valley has been to try to shut it up entirely. Like, basically anyone significant, if they bring it up at all, people will pile in and just start screaming about smear campaigns, and they're even trying to associate the claim about these emails with Russia now. They're saying, well, Giuliani's running a Russian smear disinfo campaign to get Trump elected because the Russians don't want Joe Biden. The emails, which apparently one person on the email chain that's mentioned in these email releases that we've gotten so far has apparently corroborated the fact that it's legit. It's not doctored, it's not fake, it's real. They've confirmed that the big guy reference in one of those email chains, specifically regarding basically a pay-to-play sort of scheme through Ukraine involving Chinese executives as well, which is even more explosive. It's not just Ukraine, which is kind of a semi-failed state at times, but China is a main economic opponent on the world stage, the second power of the world, basically the dipole at this point, not the Russians, arguably, the dipole of the East. It appears to corroborate the fact that Hunter Biden was used as an intermediary to gobble up enormous amounts of money in exchange for political favors through the acting vice president of the United States. If that's the case, you don't need a Russian smear campaign, and apparently, and Giuliani himself is saying this, that when they first made it known that they had this material, they were almost immediately reached out to by Hunter Biden's attorney asking for the hard drive back. Now, and he told this to Crowder the other day, you don't ask for a hard drive if you don't think that the hard drive is legit, now do you? That corroborates in my mind the belief that this material's real. Now, of course, we already could speculate that. They had unique pictures of Hunter Biden with his meth pipe or whatever and being all goofy. He definitely looks like the sort of person that's on drugs. I could pretty much corroborate it from that, but it's not proof positive. I mean, they could have done some sort of deep dig, and it doesn't necessarily corroborate the emails, but now, why would the attorney want the hard drive back? And apparently, this is another claim. The repair shop owner that discovered this, who sent a copy of it to the FBI, made a copy of it before sending the computer off to the FBI, apparently he did that out of fear that the FBI would sit on it and do nothing. I think he was right to do that. And by the way, when I see people say, like Maher came out, well, repair shops aren't supposed to hack into your computer and dumb shit like that. To the people defending that fucking turd, who apparently sees no problem with the idea of an acting VP peddling influence to the tune of tens of millions of dollars to China, can you imagine if it were even speculated that Trump had such dealings, he would have been impeached a second time. He got impeached based on literally nothing. Biden, meanwhile, is being allowed to entirely skate by the corporate media. They're barely even asking him the goddamn question about these fucking emails, despite corroboration. This is the biggest scandal we can confirm, at least, of the last 20, 30 years. This is bigger than Watergate. But the corporate media is not asking Biden the questions. Meanwhile, he shows up at his rally. He's got fucking 5 people watching him. Anyway, link in the description, because actually Bo Erickson from CBS deigned to ask Biden on the tarmac about the emails. Biden didn't answer. He didn't deny. Corroborating again that these emails are actually a thing. It's not a Russian disinfo campaign. A dude who figured that the FBI was tainted because he's a Trump supporter, no surprise there, made a copy of a private hard drive, or supposedly there's a couple of others floating around out there. Made a copy after reporting it to the FBI, knowing they wouldn't do anything, and decided to give it to Giuliani's lawyer. Good on him. He probably fucked the Biden campaign. I would expect that this will have a significant impact on the election. Does it flip the election? I don't know. But when I look at Biden's crowd size, when I see the fact that he has like 10 people show up usually, and Trump is still filling stadiums, I'm going to say that those polls are cooked, dude. I think that there's a rat in the cellar at the moment. I think they're trying to prime people for rigging the general election. that essentially Trump will win on election night. It'll be quite clear that he's won. And then the rigged ballots will start trickling in. The ones they've been priming people for since COVID began, but trust me, they would have rolled out anyway. They're just using that as a very convenient excuse. By the way, some of the other claims, like that there's illicit porn of Hunter Biden with kids and stuff, those do not appear to be directly corroborated by the emails. Don't get distracted by the shills, essentially. They're saying all sorts of wish, oh, well, it proves that China did COVID on purpose and stuff like that. That's not what's being corroborated here. What's corroborated, it appears, is that there's a pay-to-play scheme involving Burisma, Ukraine, Hunter Biden as an intermediary that helped Joe Biden pocket enormous amounts of money by selling his political influence in the case of getting an investigator fired for a Ukrainian energy firm involved with Chinese executives. If this is the case, it is disqualifying. He should have been in jail. He should have been canned as vice president. Obama should have let him go. And probably Obama knew that this was going on. I can't imagine that it was in a vacuum that he didn't. Not saying that he necessarily profited off it. When they mention an H in that, I'm assuming, is that Hillary? That'd be interesting. Oh, 2 presidential Democrat candidates in a row, both involved in the same bigger than Watergate style for-profit scandal. But Bo Erickson asked him this question, and then showing that the legacy media is deliberately trying to muzzle the story and not fucking bring it up, except for Fox, which does it on pretense. Bo Erickson gets slapped down by his own news directors like, well, Bo, the real question you should ask Joe Biden is what he thinks about Giuliani running a Russian disinformation campaign and smearing his family. That's not journalism! Read the fucking emails! They've been corroborated! Giuliani says they're real. Hunter Biden's attorney apparently felt at the time that they were real. The repair shop owner, people on the email chain are corroborating this. Biden has never once denied it. He wasn't even denying it when explicitly asked. He just said, well, I knew that you would ask that. It's right up your alley, this smear campaign. I have no reaction at all. How fucking telling. Nobody's denying it. You got people running damage control. Oh, well, it's a disinfo campaign. Oh, says Twitter, it's hacked material, so we're going to ban it. Dude, it wasn't hacked. It was released lawfully by the owner of the repair shop after requisitioning it because it was left there for months at a time and never picked back up. I think that Hunter Biden's aide just didn't realize the importance of the laptop, and Hunter was so cracked out of his mind that he didn't even think about it. Didn't care. Old laptop, take it in to get serviced, it's fucked. Probably just forgot about it and bought a new one. Crackheads do dumb shit, dude. I hate to say it, but just because the crackhead is the former VP's son doesn't make him any less of a crackhead. This is apparently a dude with very poor personal judgment. Oh yeah, I'm gonna seduce, while on crack, by the way, my dead brother's ex-wife. Widow. I'm then gonna cheat on her with a stripper. I'm gonna get the stripper pregnant and then deny that the kid's mine, despite knowing it probably is. All while in a goddamn drug haze. Do you honestly believe it's beyond the pale that this individual would leave the laptop behind? I think it's perfectly easily explained by that. I think that's exactly what happened. He was coked up, he was cracked up, he was on meth, whatever. He was probably high when he told the aide to take it in. Probably just while he was on drugs, in a haze, didn't understand why that was a bad idea. Again, people on that many drugs act in a deranged, senseless fashion, regardless of how powerful and wealthy they happen to be. And Hunter Biden was nothing more than a diplomatic intermediary to siphon money. Why else was he chosen for this position, by the way? He has no business qualifications. He's on drugs. His dad knew he was on drugs. But Biden said, you know what? I make all sorts of money. And apparently Joe Biden likes to siphon huge amounts of money off of his own family members, too. And it was funny because some people are trying to spin it as, well, it makes Joe sound like Vargas there, that idiot. Oh, Joe sounds like a good guy with a bad son. I feel sorry for Joe. Dude, Joe Biden was the VP. He never should have optioned his son into this position to grift money off the Chinese. And now his campaign is on the skids. The legacy media knows it, and Silicon Valley knows it. Why else are they pulling out all the goddamn stops to try to stop the story? They don't even want you talking about it. They'll try to silence you by either direct censorship or calling you a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you must be a Russian bot because you're talking about the... Yeah, Joe Biden told me it was a Russian disinfo campaign. Well, no, Joe didn't. Joe won't even respond to the allegations that are being made. He says goddamn nothing. and keeps calling lid days and refusing to answer basic questions. He's been doing that the whole campaign, and there are still people that support the lunatic. You are insane if you vote for Joe Biden at this point. You gotta be nuts. You gotta be kidding me. I bet there are people out there, by the way, that sent in a mail-in ballot for Joe a month ago, and they really goddamn regret it. Whoops, I voted for someone who arguably committed treason against the country while he was the second in command. Now, wonderful. You did a good job. You know, what happened is you listened to this sort of bullshit propaganda, which is transparent. You can see evidence of it on Twitter. Did you see that Steve Scully dude that was going to be the second debate moderator, supposedly unbiased, decided to... He just got fired by C-SPAN. C-SPAN let him go. He was going to be the second debate moderator. He's talking to Scaramucci and asking him for life advice. Dude, the fix is in. It's as transparent as I see things before me now. And if you can't see it, maybe you've been brainwashed by years of propaganda telling you Orange Man bad. And therefore his opponent, no matter how sleazy and crazy and potentially demented he may be, you have to vote for him because Orange Man, irredeemable and deplorable, just like all of his evil Nazi fans. It's a pile of steaming horseshit. It is total propaganda, and the Democrats don't even want to talk about the issue. It'd be trending front page worldwide if we actually had a legacy media involved in journalism. But they're trying to, as people are correctly pointing out, I believe, run out the clock. It's only 2 weeks for the election. Only 2 weeks, that's all. We just have to keep Joe from addressing it till then and hope that Giuliani doesn't have too many more bombshells. We can weather it. Don't worry, guys. We got this in the bag. That's what they're thinking. They are goddamn terrified. That's about all. Peace out.